Well, if you bought a Mavic Air like I did, you bought it for a couple good reasons. One is it's compact. It folds up tight. You can put it in anything and take it wherever you want. That's awesome. The other thing is the technology on this is amazing. The pictures, the video, the photography, outstanding. And you have a lot of control with it. And you can put it in a backpack and travel through all kinds of areas. But you know what? You don't always put things in the backpack. You're not always going on big trips. You need to have a combination pack that you can put the things you need in when you're going out on a specific shoot. Sometimes it's going to be a little more incognito because you don't want to draw any attention to you to get the shot you want. And that's what I'm talking about today, picking the right case to do the job for you so you can stay incognito and get that shot. You Mavic Pro users out there probably recognize this bag right away. It came with the Mavic Pro Fly More package, and it was a nice bag. Well, it also is a nice bag to use for what we want to do with the Mavic Air. It holds everything we need to do. It's pretty incognito. It's nice, it's small, it's compact, doesn't draw a lot of attention, and that's what we want. But it's got to hold the things we want to do when we go out and do the shoot. And that's what I want to show you what it is. I like the case, number one. It comes with a shoulder strap, which is always kind of cool because you can put it over your shoulder, walking along, walk back in the woods, whatever, and not be real conspicuous. And just what this is all about. I like the material. It's got a nice soft pack. And even on the bottom, if you have to put it in some wet grass, I don't feel bad about it because this is all rubberized on the bottom. Plus it don't slide if you're putting it on a picnic table or whatever when you're out. And this is for those times when you're going to go through a park or going through some place to get to where you want to shoot and you don't want to draw a lot of attention. Well, it has a nice Velcro on the top, and I like that Velcro because lots of times I won't even strap it or zip it all up. I can just put the Velcro on there and go real quick or set it down, and it saves me from having an accident too with it. Nice zipper on the top, so it really holds everything. On the top here, I have all my cables. I have a cable for the phone that I use with it all the time. I have a cable for my personal phone, so in case I forgot my phone that I want to use for it. I also have a couple of attachments there, but that stays up there all the time, and that's how I pretty much start every time I'm out. The next thing, of course, and the most important thing is your Mavic Air right here with the whole case. What I like too is I can put my whole case in there and really protect it, so I don't have to give up that or catching it on the sides, maybe wrecking a propeller or something. So you can use it just with the heavy package that it came in, which I really like this case, matter of fact. And this goes really well, and you can slide it back in there so you don't have to be carrying it around, but I'm going to set it to the side now. And of course you open it up. You get it ready to go, and you open it up, and then off, so you're ready to go. Now, I put here, if you see, I put take off, take off. Well, that means take this baby off. I've done it once, and I said I'd never do it, but I've done it once, left that baby on there, and I got a little notice saying, "You dummy," is what it should have said. Anyway, so you're ready to go. You know you got a good fresh battery. You got that all set up prior to coming out there. Now, the next thing I do is, of course, you need the remote. And I keep the remote in this little sock. It makes it easy to slide in there and set up. And what all I have to do is, like as you well know, and all the DJI, is set up the antennas and you set up the movement. And I use it two different ways. I use this right here, this that came with it, to plug into my phone. So I'm quick and go. When I want to quick and go, I will use that right away. I would take that, here's the little prongs here, I'll take that and I'll plug that in and I'm ready to go, and I'm flying quicker than setting up another apparatus that I do have and I do use on occasion, which I'll show you. So there's a remote, as most of you well know. The other thing is I have a dedicated phone. In other words, I bought this phone specifically for doing my DJI and a couple other drones that I have that use a phone. And that way, I don't have anything but internet on it. I do have GPS on this phone, but I don't have any apps other than Go4, and that's it. DJI Go4 app, and that's it. So it can be totally used, all the energy that this phone puts out, plus I got a 64 gig backup drive in it, so that works out great. And that's not all that expensive. The next thing I got here on the right side here, I have, this is not a camera case, it's a glasses case, and in here I have some props. These props are master air screw props, which I have used, and I do like them for certain situations. Like if there's a lot of people around, I may put it on. It takes the buzz away, and it makes it a little less annoying. But on a general rule, I don't use them. I use the OEM props. I like them. They sound, I hear it, and I don't mind hearing it. I'm up in the air. And I haven't really had any problems because where I want to fly is not going to be around a lot of people, and that's what this whole is about. But I have used both version 1 and version 2. I think version 1's a little quieter. Version 2 can do with less adjustment at all. And I'm not too nuts about making adjustments to make something work when I have the props that work real well. So, I mean, it's up to you. A lot of people really love them and stand by them, so there you go. Now, the other thing that I have is I take with me, of course, is I have a cover here. I have another thing for my glasses. I like to have a pair of glasses to see that little screen. As you get older, you might resemble that. The other thing here is this works out real well on occasion because this will go over your actual, this was like $10 at Amazon, and this goes over your phone, or you can get them in all sizes, so if you're using something bigger or smaller. And it gives you a little shade, and it's not hard to put on. It gives you a little shade, and it protects, your sun. You can see it. You got a chance to see it. When you get out there and it's a really sunny day, because you do a lot of flying in the bright days, it's hard to see that screen. I guess, unless you got the big dollar DJI screens. But this here really helps you to see it by moving it around, and you can see it pretty good. And it will save you, because that's important, it will save you from missing something on the screen of a warning that you may not have caught right away. Even those are up short, so you always have to watch looking at your screen and looking at the drone. The next thing I have in here, or on the side I should say, I do use now and then, like I was saying, I do use an attachment that attaches to the remote, and it props up the monitor, so I can have it a little above the remote itself, and it actually makes it pretty easy to see in control. So this goes together and locks like that, and then you take it and you stick it in here, locks on that right here. Then you take this, which is, none of this is complicated, and none of this you really need to worry about, but this comes up, let me undo that, this comes up, locks onto your phone. This comes up and locks onto your phone and then locks down. And now you have an apparatus that still goes good protection. See the screen real well. You can reach in there and make the dots and make the spot touches the way you want to change something. So it's all exposed, yet it gives you a good shade to see that screen really well. I like that. And on occasion, I will use it. If I'm just going out and doing a quick shoot, of course, I'm going to put it in the lower section here as it's made for, and then take off. And yes, I do use longer cable for this, and then use the DJI cable that came with it for when it stays in the controller itself. And I guess the last thing in here that I keep on a regular basis, I do keep some neutral density filters. And I'm not a big, and I don't use them a lot. I do use them on a special occasion. Neutral density, number one, neutral means it doesn't change anything. It just makes it or darker, I should say, or less light going into your camera. And because of that, it allows you to work a slower shutter speed. A lot of people think it changes the color. Well, it really shouldn't. If it's a good ND filter, it has no color change whatsoever. It locks in to make it a lower, higher density, so you can actually shoot at a lower speed. So like if you're shooting movement particularly. I don't use it when you're shooting landscapes and stuff like that, but if you're shooting, you want to shoot an area that has a lot of traffic, cars going by and whatever, and you want to have that view, or your football game or soccer game, or where there's a lot of movement on that camera, then these ND filters work real well. And one of the things about them is that, particularly on the Mavic, these actually screw right onto your camera itself. And I like that. It's not a put on, so I don't worry about it falling off or taking off. They'll screw right on and work really well that way. I have a 4, 8, and 16, which is kind of a general rule, both in polarized as well as just straight ND. I also have a UV filter, which I put on actually immediately because I like to protect the lens a little bit. If I land in grass or do something, I don't get it all fingerprinted and screwed up. But generally speaking, I don't use it a whole lot except for those occasions. Now, I know that polarized will definitely make a color change. It would take away the, if you're shooting over water, you know, it will definitely take away that glare of the water and you get like you're looking into it deeper. That's pretty nice. But that's the polarized, and you can get that with or without being an ND. So those are kind of the apparatus that I use when I go out on a trip. But basically, this is where, hey, I'm going to go and get a shot. I know where it's at. I may have to walk through a lot of people to get there. It may be around a playground. It may be near a forest where there's a big park and recreation area. I'm legally can fly there, but I don't want to go through the hassle of, what are you doing flying? Look at, we never want to fly over, and we obey the rules completely. And I do too. And so my biggest goal is I want to be able to get to the spot, get the shot, get everything I need to make that shot, have enough batteries that when I get there I can shoot everything that I want to do. I've already pre-thought where I'm going and have enough batteries and energy if I see something I didn't plan on that I can shoot it. The whole thing's in this package. It's easy to take, and that's what I use. Maybe something here gave you an idea for your own self, but I also have a backpack. I also go to these long trips. I went hiking trips and want these things, and I put this whole thing in the backpack. Sometimes I put this whole thing in the backpack. Plus, now you're saying, well, where's the charger? Well, when I'm going out, like I said, I'm not bringing a charger because I'm not going to stop and charge someplace. Typically, I'm going out to get the shot and I'm coming back. You know, if I'm going further, then I will backpack and then I'll bring a charger if I'm going to go someplace and stay overnight or whatever where I can charge it. But typically, you don't even have that chance. This is kind of the hit and run deal that I like to use. It's all about getting the shot comfortably, because most all of us know we're not comfortable when we got a lot of people around or we can't get to the spot without difficulty. So that's what I use. Hopefully this helps. I appreciate you watching.